Hi YouTube, welcome back to my channel and a very, very happy new year, a very happy, healthy, prosperous new decade, in fact, to all of you tuning in. I just wanted to make a quick start to the new year on the channel. I'm not sure where it's all going to go, more about that in a moment. But I'm away from London at the moment. I expect you can see it's a slightly different background. But I thought I would just come on, wish you Happy New Year, and show you this little beauty, which is very appropriate because it's the Dior Holiday palette. And as many of you will have seen in the various videos showing this collection, it's really beautifully engraved with the Happy 2020. I just think that was a very clever idea of them, particularly as I think for collectors or people who are kind of slightly, geekish about makeup like me. You might well end up getting two of these because I tell you, I have used this once. I used it last night to do my eye makeup, but it doesn't look like it, does it? Because I was so careful around the engraving, and I'm really conflicted about using this beautiful palette. And I can well see there are lots of people who've bought two, one to keep and one to use. I'm not going to do that. But this was actually a Christmas gift. I didn't buy it for myself. I have dithered long and hard about the Dior holiday collection, and I didn't end up buying anything from it. There were several items I was interested in. One of the lipsticks, a kind of pinky one, which had a gold shimmer, I really loved from what I saw on YouTube and Instagram, but I didn't manage to pick it up anywhere. Every time I happened to be near somewhere with a Dior counter and I went in and asked for it, they were sold out, and for some reason or other I just didn't get round to ordering it. I dithered long and hard about the palettes. You will have seen there were two of these. I don't know what this one is called. So this one was called Celebrating Gold, and then there was also a very, very vivid, colourful one with pink, green, blue, gold, and I think silver. My immediate reaction was that this one here was the one that I wanted because it's very much the kind of colour story that I usually go for, with a beautiful taupe, some very pretty festive golds, and the brown. I'm never a great fan of black shadows. I just don't use them. So that was my immediate reaction. But then I thought that's absolutely silly because I have so many palettes with this kind of colour story generally. I would literally be buying it because it was Dior and because of the Happy 2020. And I'm going to talk about what I'm going to try and do about downsizing my collection a bit later in this video. But I was already thinking along those lines. Whereas the really bright colour story, I honestly haven't got anything like that in my collection. Haven't got any bright pinks at all. Haven't got any bright blues. I do have one very pigmented green colour selection from Tom Ford, which I don't use a lot, it's fair to say, called Emerald Lust. But otherwise, it was a completely new palette. But equally, I couldn't really see that I would wear it a lot. And I've kind of to and froed. I'm still kind of half thinking about it. I watched one of Alison Chase's videos earlier this week where she uses the blue and the silver and does an absolutely beautiful eye look with it that I would love to recreate myself at home, although I look nothing like her. So I don't know, but anyway, I didn't get it, and this was in my Christmas stocking, so this one turned up in the end, and it's really beautiful. Let me oh so delicately try and swatch it. The really beautiful pigmented. I'm being so gentle. I'm not really getting much colour, so let's go for it. A very gold, so festive. Although I did buy that single gold from the Chanel holiday collection, which I also used last night. Then a much more silvery, cool tone gold, which I really like actually, really, really flattering on the eye. Then Old Faithful taupe. This one doesn't swatch as well. I did find I had to really dig my brush in a little bit last night. Can you see it? Barely. And then this gorgeous brown, which actually, as you can see, swatches on the hand and on the eye as much more kind of medium neutral than it looks kind of warmer in the palette. And then for those of you who are into your blacks, comes over as a more kind of grey really, so you could definitely use it for a smoky eye, but it's just not really my thing. So you can see there the palette overall, apart from the very in-your-face yellow gold, is pretty neutral. So although it's kind of marketed as a celebration holiday palette, definitely one that you could wear to do a very neutral eye look. So I wouldn't say these are the best formulation I've come across. They're not a patch actually on the Chanel one for this holiday season, I think, in terms of working with, or my beloved Tom Ford's. But I really do love the concept, and I think it's so pretty to have something to commemorate not just a new year, but a whole new decade. So speaking of which, I have been kind of watching some very different videos in the last couple of months on YouTube. Less makeup, although I still love watching the ones showing the new collections and how to apply, especially how to do eye looks. But I've been watching more and more about minimalism, about using what we have, about being a little more careful with our resources. I've always been quite energetic about curating my collection. I know a number of you have asked to see my overall collection. It honestly isn't that big by makeup geeks on YouTube standards. It's probably pretty big by normal people who spend their money more wisely standards. I try to keep it literally in one large cabinet, and as that gets full, I try to curate a little bit and not keep things, not only when they're going off, but when I haven't used them, because it's very easy just to accumulate more and more and not use it, or just use the same few things. And I do find, if I'm truthful, I'm using less and less makeup, specifically eye makeup, which has always been one of my weaknesses, because I love the pretty palettes like this. They're what I always kind of look at in collections. But the truth is, I don't wear a huge amount of makeup. I don't do eye makeup. I don't do elaborate eye makeups, or I do them very, very rarely when I'm going out, partly because my eyes now are quite crepey in middle age, so it's more difficult to do a good eye look, and partly just lack of time, to be honest. So I am finding more and more I'm using kind of mono shades on the eye that are quicker and easy to apply. One of my favourite products last year, which didn't, when I looked back, actually feature in either of my two favourite videos, because I don't think I had it with me when I was making them, was the Trini London kit that I bought, which are the stackable pots. I did do a whole video on it earlier in the year when I got it, which is very, very practical, but very, very minimalistic. And I think whilst I'm not going for one of these complete no-buy makeup challenges in 2020, that's not me. There are definitely going to be things that I'm going to see that I don't need, but that I love and I want to buy. I definitely want to be a little more mindful about what I buy, and just enjoy looking at some of the things online in the stores without feeling I have to have them unless it really adds something to my collection. And I also want to use my collection a bit more widely and kind of rotate what I've got, because I often find one of the things that I like about YouTube is I suddenly get a random video in my feed of somebody demonstrating a product, possibly from a while ago, that I actually have, and I've forgotten about it, and take it out and do a look with it. And I want to think about using what I've got a little bit more responsibly and buying a little less. So for those of you who like seeing what I get from the collections, it may be that there won't be as much this year. Having said that, I ordered something day before New Year's Eve, which is coming, I hope, tomorrow. Even though I'm away from London at the moment, I will get it. And I'm sure I will have things to show you, but I also hope that you will be happy to see some of the things that I'm rediscovering from my collection, why I've kept them and how I use them. So I'd love to know if any of you have made New Year's makeup resolutions, not revolutions. And I wish you all a very, very happy 2020. Until next time, bye for now.